Donald Trump is responsible for his own assassination attempt today. I know that sounds insane, but this is what MSNBC is saying right now. MSNBC just went on air and just had a reporter say that President Trump is responsible for another man intending a bullet for his skull. I can't believe it's real.
Yeah. Do you expect there to be calls from within the Trump campaign to do that?
Welcome to Pegasus vs. the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and travel.
City boy! City boy!
All right, dude, this is actually on this channel. This is not what I want to be covering, but I just thought I just feel like I'm living in a virtual reality machine. Like, I just feel like this isn't real life. So for you guys not aware, there was a second assassination attempt on Trump. He's out playing golf on his golf course or whatever, and a dude puts up what was it, like these ceramic things on a fence with a GoPro, and was planning on clapping through the fence. He was intercepted by the Secret Service. I think they used like a drone. They saw his car. They intercepted the suspect. They said he's like 65, white dude. It's interesting because we're just in this really polarizing time in America. And what I'm going to say is, and I'm just going to keep it real, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, especially people who follow me, because for some reason Trump triggers people to this extreme emotional state where they see red. I don't understand that. I try not to let anything push my emotional triggers like that. It's like self-discipline, control, and we all go there every now and then, but I've just noticed for some reason with Donald J. Trump, he just does that to certain people, a lot of people, and they'll be in the comments. And I believe it's blinding them and others from the fact that we live in America. Okay, we're supposed to have a civilized society. You don't go out and try to shoot your enemies or people you disagree with. Now, people are going to say all these wild things in the comments, make all these excuses for why it should be okay because this evil character deserves this, that, or the other. But I'm here to say, and this is the honest to God truth. This is the facts. If you were a neutral person, right? If you have compassion and empathy and all these things people claim to have online, that is not the way to handle yourself in a civilized society. This is not the medieval times. We're not chopping off people's heads, But if that's what they want it to go back to, hey, we're on a great trajectory right now. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not here to do politics. This channel is not going to be politics. Again, I cover trending topics. This is I just couldn't even believe I read this today because, I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, that, after the first assassination attempt, they said there will be more. And I'm just thinking it's just really, I've never seen anything like this in my life. We know there's a deep state. We know there's secret societies. We know there's a lot of things out there. Some of us know, some of us don't. Some people don't believe that. But we know there are people, let's say, above our pay grade, right? Like, you only know what you know at your level. That goes for anything, right? So if you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you know all this shit, and the white belts know this. And it's the same in life, so on and so forth, right? So when you get to millionaire status, you know more than a thousandaire. When you get to billionaire status, you know more than a millionaire. When you're in politics and you get to a certain level, you know more than the average MF. There are things that are going on in the unseen, I think, that are coming to light that people weren't supposed to know, and we're starting to know. And I think that's a problem for the establishment in general. I don't know, man. I don't look to politicians as my savior. Meaning that no one's coming to save you. Donald Trump is not going to save you, and neither is Kamala Harris. Okay, that's just the facts. And essentially, even the way our constitutional republic was set up was for the people to be, more assertive and proactive. And all these people in politics, all of them don't have the people's best interest in mind, right? Because if they did, we wouldn't be where we're at currently. Being in one of the wealthiest nations in the world, we wouldn't be falling apart at the seams if the people who represented us actually cared for us. That goes for both sides, you guys, both sides. Oh no, man, I'm going to play some of this. I just seen this when I got home, man. I was out running my dogs at my dad's house. The kiddos are out of town with wifey, visiting fam, and I was just like, ain't this some it's just where have we gone to? And what the part that scares me is that people think this is okay. This is not acceptable behavior for anybody. It's not cool for gang members to do drive-bys, so it's not cool for some citizen to take the law in his own hands or his own whatever and try to do things to people that they disagree with. That's the problem I have, too, the most, is it's just interesting. It is interesting. There's some thoughts I can't even say on YouTube because it gets kind of dark. I always just question. I'm like, these people will get so brazen to rise up against certain factions, but they won't get brazen to rise up against the factions that actually affect them every day. It's like this weird matrix. I always see it. I'm like, oh man, these cats actually went and did all this harm to innocent people. I'm not talking about Donald Trump right now. I'm kind of being elusive in my speech. If you pick up on it, you do. But anyways, these people will go do things to innocent people at, young ages, older age. They'll do atrocities, right? But these atrocities never seem to happen to, how can I put this? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Maybe you don't. Dude, YouTube's weird. I should have did this on Rumble if we're keeping it real. But anyway, let me see what they're saying on MSNBC. Hold on, let's see.
Because he's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down. We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing has yet to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started. So I don't know how long this could, this moment of unity for the country where we come together and we say, I don't want any political opposition to be under threat of violence. It's not okay. Any threat of violence, we don't want. I would love for us to have a unity type moment, but I think it's probably going to be pretty fleeting, as we've seen in the past.
We had a unity type moment, and you goblins.
Yo, Benny this dude is tight. He's tight. I watch some of his stuff sometimes. I bounce around, you guys. Like, I'll watch the Benny Show. I'll watch the Young Turks. Every now and then I'll put on mainstream media just a little bit. Every now and then I'll glance at Tim Pool. I like Crowder, bro. He is so funny. But hey, it is what it is. Sheesh. I think it's interesting, and I think these are things that, look, it's interesting talking about this subject because people hate on Donald Trump so much, and they just go crazy when his name is mentioned. It's actually hilarious. If we're being honest, like seeing grown people melt down over some other dude, it's really hilarious. And they're like, he's trying to control your life. He's trying to control women's rights and da-da-da-da. And you're like, bro, what? Like, Trump is interesting if you think about it. Like, any conservative, like, he is so lax on like abortion and stuff compared to like real true conservatism, bro, people are just get kind of loony about this stuff. But what I would say is the parts that should be focused on, if you're trying to be as neutral as possible, is watching the mainstream media lie to you. They always downplay everything. It's interesting, and it almost sets this narrative like, why are they doing this? Like, he got shot in his ear. It's proven people died at the first assassination attempt, but they downplay. No, we don't know yet. Da 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 da. And everything that I've saw, that's the only reason I'm covering this, because everything is like in the bag. Like they're like, yo, we got the GAT. I think it was like an AK-47. We got this. We got that. So, I mean, we'll see. I could be wrong. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't believe me. Just do your follow-up and due diligence. But when you do, go back and just see, the mainstream media has made things harder on us because of, instead of focusing on the truth and journalism, they focus on censorship and other things, right? So it's interesting because they're going so hard against Trump. Like even during 2020, there were certain things that were being presented by the news. There were some things that could have helped people during 2020, but because, Trump says things, all of a sudden it's like, thrown out of context. And, it's funny. For all the people who absolutely hate Donald Trump, they just get triggered and they're like, I was you. In 2016, I was you, right? But I was also loyal to the foil, the tin foil. I knew what was up with Hillary. So I was like, I'm just not going to, I sat that one out because I didn't do my homework, right? But I was like, I'll never vote for Hillary, ever, right? And fast forward, you start seeing the stuff out of context, and these are all red pill moments. Like, people are going to get more upset. They'll be like, why are more and more people gravitating to this stuff? And it's just because we're being lied to in our face by the mainstream media, by all these different things. And it's just like, you're just like, what is going on? So anyways, I sit, interesting, because people will say I'm sitting the fence. And I would love to go hard for one or other side. Right. I'm not voting Harris. Like, I'll just keep that real. That would never happen in a lifetime. It's not happening. I do not agree with the policies. I do not agree with the direction the left wants to take our country on many different things. But I just keep it real. I never go hard for Trump either, because it's just, I don't know. I see certain things and I'm like, I can't even talk about them on YouTube. That's what's crazy. Honestly, let's just be honest. It starts with Project and ends with Warp Speed. But yeah. Anyway, I'm just on here kind of covering this mess, which if you're just being an adult about this, just take all the emotions out. I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave. That's not acceptable behavior, man. Trying to shoot people you disagree with, and that's just not how we are supposed to revolve in a civilized society. We'll see where we go. This, things change, you guys, and they change quick. And as I think of this, the landscape of America is changing dramatically. And I don't know who has all the right answers. I know none of these people are perfect, And I take part in the system because I am in this system, right? I pay taxes, right? So you should take part in the system. I don't believe in not voting. But it just seems surreal. And that's the problem I have is like, I'm like, I shouldn't be a politician. I don't know. But then I'm like, maybe if more just regular, ordinary, Americans, like ordinary, not all this extreme, just, we could balance out this whole, it's just crazy. I grew up saying the Pledge of Allegiance in school. Like, I was talking to my homie today about that. And it's just, the landscape of America has just shifted dramatically. I don't think it's going in the right direction. I think it's very dangerous. And I've always thought it's okay to love America and be proud of it and look at it for its, the dark side, but also look at it for the things we've overcome. Oh, man. Anyways, I'm just rambling now. I'm going to get out of here, but there's a lot going on. Second assassination attempt. Sheesh.
City boy!